Hi! Today we are going to talk about this fourth aspect, the emotions. And I'm sure that we all are very aware of the emotional factor of us. So we've gone through the mind or the spirit, the mind, the rationale, the will, our decision-making factor. And now we're coming to the emotions. And this probably is the most obvious to you because we are all very aware of our emotions. We know people that are very emotional. So the emotions, the feeling, the capacity to feel, God feels too. Jesus is that example. He was moved with compassion, and Jesus wept when he heard about Mary's brother. So feelings and emotions are neither right nor wrong. They are yours, and it is what you choose to do with them that they may become sinful. So it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be emotional. It's what we do with it when we feel it, whether or not it becomes evil. Feelings and emotions are not caused by an event or circumstances. They are responses to the event based on our beliefs. Now that is why it's so important to know what you believe, because we live what we believe, and our emotions will exemplify that big time. And so we always think that it's somebody else that made us mad, or circumstances that make us sad, or all these different things, but it really isn't. It's what we believe, and that's what comes forth in our emotions. So ways of dealing with feelings and emotions. One way is stuffing. And that's what I did for oodles of years because I didn't know any different. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings or to take care of my emotions properly. So I stuffed until I reached a point where I blew up. And I really do think that's why people drink too, is to numb themselves from things that are bothering them, because we don't know how to deal with things. We don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to take care of the deep-rooted feelings because we haven't been taught, and it's too bad. And then there's other aspects, the dumping, which I've been dumped on a whole lot. When people are upset and they don't know what to do with their feelings, so they come up to you, and the example I always gave was, you can come up to somebody with a little pickup load and you unload it on people, or you come up with a big dumpster and you dump on people. And that isn't the right thing to do. That's called venting, and that's very cruel because you walk away feeling better, but the person that you dumped on feels really bad, and you have just smeared them with all your stuff because you didn't know how to deal with things properly, and you had to unload, and different personalities do things different ways. So, and then the mature way of dealing with the emotions is the acknowledgement and the acknowledging that you have them and zeroing down to find out where they're coming from. So when dealing with hurtful memories from the past, it is necessary to experience that pain because the memory went in with a feeling and a pain. So for healing to take place, that feeling needs to come out and be given to the Lord. And in Psalms it talks about that. And I mean, he restoreth my soul, Psalms 23. Accepting responsibility for our own lives. The battleground is the mind in these three areas, the rational, volitional, and the emotional. So one of the examples I think of this that is really a good example is why our movies and our shows and everything have become so violent. It's because people don't feel anymore. They have been so hardened in their hearts and in their emotions that it takes an extreme thing to have them feel. And let me tell you, flipping through things, I see extreme, horrible things that are available to watch now, just to give somebody a feeling, because we are feeling people. And we want to feel. That's part of feeling alive, to not feel, which I remember back before I got saved, of feeling very cold, very hard-hearted, and it's not a very good place to be. It's a very hurtful place to be because you realize that's not life, and you feel like you're walking in death. And I truly believe that's where a lot of depression comes from, is that hopelessness of not feeling alive, of not having the experiences of feelings and emotions. So emotions, a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. We're happy, we're sad, and all those kind of, that's emotions. And a lot of times the emotions are very surface. They do depend on circumstances. We feel good when we get a bouquet of flowers or some candy, or people call us and make us feel good because they're thinking of us and that kind of stuff. And so we have those emotions and those feelings. But deeper feelings, the feelings of like rejection, hurt, sorrow, and those kind of things, they describe the physical sensations of touch through either experience or perception. The word is also used to describe experiences other than the physical sensation of touch, such as the feeling of warmth, hurt, angry, rejected, based on what you believe, deep-seated. And this is why it is so important to dig down deep into what you believe and find out where you believe possibly a lie. And that's what triggers these emotions, because the lie has been touched. And if you feel or believe that you aren't worthy and people say something cruel to you, it puts you in touch with that feeling of being unworthy and or rejected. And these are things that we need to go deep into our very being to deal with. In Proverbs 37:8, it says, "Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm." So it's cease from anger. That's you taking care of it. We have responsibility for our feelings and emotions. Proverbs 15:18, "A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he is slow to anger, allays contention." So it puts aside contention when we deal with our anger, when we use self-control to bring our emotions. And of course, I'm using anger because anger is so prevalent today. We're a hurt society. We're a hurt people. Unless you've been raised in a really good home with loving parents and that kind of stuff, and had nothing but loving people surrounding you, we're very hurt. We're very rejected. We're very wounded. And so this comes out a lot in seeing the anger around us. Proverbs 16:32, "He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city." Now that's a pretty big factor. That's one of the scriptures that I really like too, because we are to rule our spirit. We are not to allow our emotions or our feelings run rapid. And these are symptoms of things that are going on inside, and the body, are all symptoms when we have bad behavior. And we are not our behavior. Our behavior is an expression or a symptom to what's going on deeper inside of us, our belief system, and we choose to make the wrong kind of decisions. So, is mightier than he that takes a city. I mean, there's some pretty big cities, and so that shows you how important it is for us to rule our temple, our spirit, and to know what's really going on. Colossians 3:8, "But now you yourselves are to put off these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth." We are supposed to take care of this. Walking in the Spirit, Galatians 5:16, "I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the lust of the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one another." Romans 6:6, "Knowing this, that our old man was crucified with him, that the body of sin might be done away with, that we should no longer be slaves of sin." Ephesians 4:22, "That you put off concerning your former conduct the old man, which grows corrupt according to the deceitful lusts." Philippians 2:12, "Therefore, my beloved brother, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." So you can see how the emotions are the consequences of all the other things that we've talked about. The mind, the spirit, first and foremost, is the heart of the matter, the heart and the spirit. The mind, the rationale, how we can rationalize things and say, oh, it's okay if I act this way. I've always been this way. That is really a big excuse, is to say, well, this is just the way I am, and this is my personality, and that kind of, that's really a lame excuse, because we are responsible for our behavior. We are not our behavior. We are created in the image of God, but we have bad behavior, and so therefore we, as our emotions come up and as things happen to us and we begin to understand the triggers that we may have from the wounds and stuff that we have, and our emotions start surfacing and coming out, it's a good opportunity, a good way for you to find out really who you are. There are a lot of different things out there that you can do. One of the things that I have known about for many years and have partaken of, is online. It's called 16personalities.com. And it helps you understand yourself and your friends. You take this little test, and it tells you what kind of personality you have. And I mean, this is tried and true. They've been around for 30 years, 38, 39 years. And so they pretty well have evaluated the different personalities of people. And it really is important to understand that about yourself and about your friends and your family. And so it'll help you understand even some of the aspects of who you are in the whole scheme of things. So this is just a little bit of something about the emotions. And next time we will do the aspect of the body, the symptoms, the flesh. And so we have talked about the heart, the innermost being, the mind, the rationale, the will, the decisions. I mean, we can choose, and our emotions are a culmination of all these different things. And then next time we'll talk about the flesh. But we are responsible for this. This is us. This is our temple. This is our vessel. And I choose to rule this temple instead of having it rule me. For so many years, what I wanted to do, the flesh, my evil inclination, decided what I was going to do. And now and I pray even more so that as my spirit man gets stronger and stronger, I can override the wrong choices and become aware of what I need to deal with, the pain I need to deal with, all those kind of things. And this is really to set you free, because I believe that the enemy came to destroy us. And he does attack children, and it takes us a long time to get healed from that. And some people never get healed from that. And freely I have received, freely I want to give. And so that's why I'm doing this. It's pretty simplistic, but at the same time, it can be pretty profound if you apply the principles. So until next time, and we go over the body. And then at the end of all these, I'm going to do a little bit of a summary. And then just so that we can get the bigger picture all together instead of individually. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.